We are happy to welcome you to the webinar about how to use AI to grow your personal brand and business on LinkedIn. We believe that we all have brilliant ideas and that voices need to be shared. And if you are loud online or offline and you share your ideas, this will attract similar people to what you believe in. And I think this is amazing. However, sometimes it is hard to put your ideas into words. I imagine that you come here because you are also into content creation and you are exploring this for yourself. So it takes time. And we believe that we can use AI to spread your voice, but not to replace you. So instead of creating copy-paste content with AI, we can use AI to amplify what you believe in, what your ideas are, to attract people who are similar to you and whom you want to attract. We're gonna talk about our experience with LinkedIn, why LinkedIn works in 2025. Martina gonna share top LinkedIn strategies to grow your personal brand and business. And my part is going to be about AI. I'm going to talk about the framework to create the AI Copilot to set up the chat custom GPT that can replicate your tone of voice, know your target audience, and help you write content faster.
And now it's our turn to introduce ourselves. My name is Martina, and I'm LinkedIn business mentor and CV consultant. So what I basically do, I teach self-employed like me how to build their personal brand, become top of mind in their industry, and attract clients in less than 3 months without pushy sales. Until now, I worked with more than 70 clients. And on the other hand, I teach C-level people, directors, managers, etc., how to optimize their job application to get more job interviews and a better job within 2 months. I've been active on LinkedIn since 2018. And until today, built a network of more than 15K followers.
And now a few words about myself. So Martin is our AI LinkedIn strategist, and I am AI strategist. I've been doing it since 2018. I'm a founder of AI agency called Parse Labs and a SaaS platform called Chatbotly. And over the last 8 years, I worked on more than 110 commercial AI projects. And I use LinkedIn as well as part of my sales channel. And for now, I have actually almost 8,000 followers, so maybe tomorrow that will be the case. And I use it very often, so I wanted also to share a bit more about what LinkedIn does for my personal brand and how it helps me find clients. So I experimented over the last year a lot with different format types. So I post carousels. I had a viral lead magnet where I got almost 2,000 comments and I got 1,600 email followers from that. I also post personal posts, videos, polls. So I try a lot of different content. And LinkedIn works great for my business, and we hope also to motivate you for that. For many things. I frequently get new leads that turn into clients. People invite me to join their panel discussions. I get invited as a speaker. I get referrals just because I have a strong brand on LinkedIn and people recognize me from this.
Now we move to one of our main topics today, why LinkedIn works. So we find LinkedIn as the strongest platform for visibility, trust, and client acquisition. And even though I'm the one who teaches how to use LinkedIn as your sales machine, let's say it like that, I'm the first one who will say that LinkedIn is not for everybody and for every business, and vice versa. It makes sense to be here, to be present on LinkedIn, only if your clients are using LinkedIn. So that is very logical. And when you know that, the next question you might be wondering is, okay, now when I know that it's good for me and my business to be present on LinkedIn, how to make the best of it? What is like the secret recipe for LinkedIn success? So let me share with you three main ingredients for LinkedIn success. First of all, it's defining who you are. In other words, what is your exact job title? Are you a coach, a mentor, architect, or I don't know, email strategist, or whatever? Next, how do you help? In other words, what is your service? How do you help your target audience? And when we are speaking about target audience, it is good that you have that you defined who is your ideal client. Who is this target person exactly to who you can help with your service, with your knowledge? And the last but not least is what makes you unique. What is your unique selling proposition? What makes you stand out from your competition? The second ingredient for LinkedIn success is optimizing your LinkedIn profile to be a magnet for your clients. And I will talk about this later in the slides. And the last one ingredient is do activities that grow your personal brand and makes you top of mind for your industry and attract clients. And how to do that is what we combined and we structured in top LinkedIn strategies to grow your personal brand and business consistently. So let me share with you all these parts which help you build your personal brand and attract clients on LinkedIn. First of all, we start with optimizing your profile. If you are an entrepreneur, self-employed, a solopreneur, in other words, if you're selling your services or products even, don't treat your LinkedIn profile as your online CV. Treat it like a mini website. What I mean here, the LinkedIn profile is a place where you should speak to your target audience, where it's not about you, but your ideal client should see by the words and text you put inside who do you help, who you are, and who are you working with, and what makes you unique. So, in other words, and to summarize it, your LinkedIn profile should be a magnet for your clients. The next top strategy is analyze your target audience. Define your ideal client so you don't speak to everybody because everybody is not your target and ideal client. And by that, I mean learn how to read their minds. It might sound very difficult and tough, but let me show you the methods how you can read the mind of your target audience. So you can create LinkedIn poll, you can do inbox research, in other words, communicate with your potential clients in inbox. You can create a questionnaire, or you can do interview calls. And when you use one of these methods, make sure to get to know your target audience, to ask them questions about themselves, about their business, what are their biggest fears, desires, goals, etc. Because these replies and these answers you get will literally be your treasure. And what I mean by that? So by that, I mean that all these replies will serve you to create smart content plan. On the screen, you can see my screenshot of my content plan, where I put all my ideas or even LinkedIn titles, and where I create a strategy for my content on which I share on LinkedIn. So I put titles. I choose one of the main topics, and that I write about on LinkedIn. So in 1 week, I'm sure that I cover all the main topics and that I do all different types and formats of posts. And when we dig deeper into creating a content that sells, we talk here about combining different post types. So we have personal stories as a post type for LinkedIn, and I highly recommend this post type because majority of people can recognize themselves in this type of content. Then make sure to share educational or how to post. With this type of posts, you show that you're an expert and you build trust within your network. The next one, post type is sales. And there is a reason that I bolded this word, because majority of people, believe it or not, forget or they just don't sell their services. So literally, they forget to write a post. Hi, I'm Martina. I sell this to this kind of target audience. This is what makes me unique. Reach out to me, send me a message to LinkedIn. This is something that will literally increase your sales if you include this type of posts. And the last one, make sure to share case studies, testimonials, and client wins, because nowadays it's more harder than ever to gain people trust. So this is something that really helps to see to show your target audience as a social proof. And on the next slide, just a second, sorry. Here I put some screenshot of my post types. So here you can see on the first one my personal story. The second one is about education or how to. This is a client win, and the last one is pure sales. And beside post types, we have also different post formats. So make sure to mix and to play with different post formats. And they can be text only, text plus image, video, and LinkedIn poll. The most important here is that you use call to action. So at the end of each post, it doesn't have to be like sales oriented, but something that will invite your target audience and network to engage with your LinkedIn post. And top of that, post regularly, because this is something that beats every talent. And to show you real quickly, the first one is text only, text plus image. This is a video and a LinkedIn poll. The other strategy that is really good and that I find very powerful is commenting on LinkedIn. This literally increase your visibility and build trust. And when we are speaking, okay, so where should we leave comments? You can leave comments on your posts, on posts of your target audience, or on your competitor posts. And just to give you one example as motivation, on the right side, you can see a screenshot of my comment, which got more than 200 likes. It was a LinkedIn post where this girl who was looking for a job shared her CV. And of course, I wanted to help her. So I wrote this a bit longer comment, but here I gave her value and some tips how to present herself as the great candidate for the job she wanted. And you can see how many likes I got. My posts don't even get so many likes. So make sure to write really valuable comments. And the next and the last thing is do warm outreach. So outreach is actually that's something I find proactive, and it means reach out to someone who already interacted with you or has some awareness of you. So what you can do, you can reach out to people who viewed your profile, who liked or commented on your post, or who sent you a connection request or followed you. And just to give you another motivation, in the last year, outreach brought me over 34,000 euros. So if you have some challenges or some fears about outreach, um, remind about these results and work on your mindset so you don't have this fear, as this is something that I see from my clients, that it really is like one of the main pains and reasons why don't they like why they don't oh sorry just grow even more than they can. And to give you an example, this is for example for a LinkedIn post when, let's say, a person commented on my post, and this is literally a message I sent to them. Dear name, thanks for the comment on my today's post regarding where to find clients on LinkedIn. Which methods do you use? Best, Martina. So literally, it's that simple. No sales, nothing pushy, just opening and conversation, and yeah, a way to introduce ourselves. And the last thing from me is our gift that Lena and I prepared. In this file, you can find our 19 best performing LinkedIn strategies and systems that support it. So when I finish talking, I will drop you a link in the chat, and make sure just to click file and download this file as a gift from us.
Thank you, Martina. Yeah, I really like that part about the engagement and the commenting, because I think that LinkedIn is both about content, but also it's actually about connection with people. So reaching out to people and engaging with people in the comments is very important for the whole system to work. So now let's talk about where AI fits in all of this. What we figured out now, listening to Martina, is one, you need to post regularly, and then you need to connect with people. So what AI can help you do is two things. First one, AI can help you post consistently and stay on top of mind. And second, AI can also help you sound cringe. And we don't want the second thing, right? So how do we make sure that AI helps us post consistently and stay on top of mind? Let me tell you how you can set up the ChatGPT, how I set up custom GPT for my own work, so we can use it to help us with AI content. The main idea when we are working with AI is that garbage in means garbage out. So if your instructions to AI are not proper, if you don't invest good thinking into that, then you will be getting a suboptimal response from AI. So what are the things that we can do to get the most of AI, to get a good response? Well, first of all, we need to understand how things work and what is possible. And by that, I mean, of course, we need to understand how the whole AI thing works, so how to write good prompts, how to write good instructions, but also because we are applying it to LinkedIn, we need to understand how LinkedIn works, which strategies work on LinkedIn, which methods you can use to understand your target audience. So all of this is important if you want to get the most of AI. Second, context is very important. So the documents that you are uploading to AI, any extra information that you are sharing is important. And third, well-written prompts. So we need to know how to write good prompts. Quick question for you here. How many of you are still writing one of prompts? And by that, I mean, how many of you never reuse your old prompt and always write it from scratch. Write plus in the chat if you are always using one of prompts, and exclamation mark if you have prompt libraries, custom GPTs, and things like that. I think I'll confuse myself with this, but plus means one of prompts. Exclamation mark means prompt libraries and custom GPTs. Cool. Oh, I see a lot of exclamation marks. Okay, I'm really proud of you. Mixed plus plus. Anyone else? Okay, I think it's basically a mix. Well, that's good news that some of you already have your prompt libraries. That's cool. Now, why is this important to talk about? Because if you are one of the people who, honestly, there are many, most of us are like that, who write one of prompts, what it means is that when it is the moment for you to write a good instruction for ChatGPT, probably you don't have time and you don't write a proper prompt. So what happens is you get suboptimal results. So the solution is to invest your time into writing a good prompt once and to get value from it many times. And this is what I did with the AI Copilot for LinkedIn. I invested a lot of time to set up the context for it, to write a prompt so that now I can just mumble to it. Yeah, so again, the main idea is to get the most of AI. We create good prompts and we start collecting context about your business. And I'm going to break this down now into steps. So I see there are 4 components of your LinkedIn AI Copilot. And by LinkedIn AI Copilot, I basically mean ChatGPT project. If you are not familiar with this tool within ChatGPT, basically it's a place where you can upload your project files. You can write your prompt under the instructions, and it has memory of all the chats that happened within this project about this topic. So I set up this LinkedIn writer for myself, which I trained to write in my tone of voice to know my target audience and things like that. So let's have a look at the 4 ingredients of a good LinkedIn AI Copilot. First, you need to write a good prompt. So you need to understand best performing prompt engineering techniques. Second, you need relevant context. So here I uploaded different files about my business, about my target audience, about my tone of voice, and things like that. Then also again here, I uploaded references of my past best performing LinkedIn posts. So AI can know what to refer to when I ask it to write in my tone of voice. And the fourth is actually really important, your own ideas. So I'm a really big advocate for not using ChatGPT to just write copy-paste content, but instead use it to amplify your voice and your ideas. So let's go through all of this one by one. First is good prompt. So there are many different strategies to write a good prompt, but here are some of the most important ones. When you write a prompt, you need to give your AI a very clear role. So in our case, it can be something like you are a LinkedIn ghostwriter and your goal is to imitate the original tone of voice of Lena. Then you also need to give it context first and ask second. For example, I'm going to be sharing draft ideas with you, and your goal is to turn those draft ideas into well-written LinkedIn post. Then you need to ask for format. So explain exactly what you need as an output. For example, it can be give me a LinkedIn post with that is well structured with 3 bullet points, which is max 3 paragraphs long. And it's good here to be very specific about those numbers. So don't just say short, say what do you mean by short, like 3 sentences, 5 paragraphs, things like that. Then one thing that a lot of people miss when they are writing prompts is examples. I noticed that it does help a lot to include examples of input and output into your prompt. For example, if we are doing a LinkedIn AI Copilot, input can be your messy ideas, but then short way of it, and then output is a good example of your prompt. For that, you can use one of your old best performing LinkedIn posts that you wrote yourself, just so it has it as a reference. And when we are talking specifically about ChatGPT projects, it's also good to refer to the files that you uploaded. So remember, I showed on the left where we upload document and context. So what I explain here in the prompt, I say, before writing, always read LinkedIn posts by Lena. or use the file called rules of strong text when you are editing the LinkedIn post. So that was about the good prompting. Now let's move to the relevant context. So for my AI LinkedIn Copilot, I uploaded the following documents, and you can think of what would be relevant for you. So for me, I brainstormed first what are my LinkedIn goals. So I have a file with why am I doing LinkedIn? Is it to get sales? Is it to get more followers? Do I want to be viral? Things like that. Then I have a separate file where I brainstormed my LinkedIn strategy. So is my strategy to post more case studies, or do I want to focus on posting viral LinkedIn posts? Is my strategy to invite people to comment on my posts? So write the post in such a way that it maybe invokes emotion from people and they want to comment. So basically, yeah, what your LinkedIn strategy is. Get clarity on that. Then I have a file, I call it here jobs to be done breakdown, but basically it's the target audience analysis. So remember Martina told about how important it is to know who your target audience is, so you don't create your LinkedIn content for yourself, but for people who you want to attract. So I brainstormed together with ChatGPT and by doing a different kind of research that Martina explained. So going through questionnaires and things like that. Who is my target audience? What is their typical role? What do they want? What motivates them to read my content? What are their goals? Things like that. So I uploaded that to my LinkedIn Copilot as well. And then I have something which is called rules of strong text and editorial guidelines from Element of Style. Basically, those are tips on how to write strong text. So be factual, keep it short, save time of the reader. So things like that, with a lot of different examples of bad text and good text. You can also, as a relevant context, maybe upload strategies of how to write a viral LinkedIn post. Or maybe you were following one person on LinkedIn specifically and you really like the strategy. So you sit down, you write down what works for them, like how do they write their hooks, what's the formula, or maybe like you follow many people and you have those tips in your head. You can also upload that as your context document, and part of it you can also add to the prompt. Few tips here on how to build this context, because it actually takes quite a lot of time. Well, one I already mentioned is you can brainstorm it with ChatGPT. Another tip is maybe you read a smart marketing book that you really liked, or this rules of strong text is actually based on a book from a famous editor which I really liked, and I had notes on what I learned from this. So you can make use of those notes from the books or from articles that you read to make it part of your documents and part of your strategy. Now we go to the references. With this, what I mean is it's good to have references of the past text that you personally wrote in your tone of voice without using ChatGPT, if you want ChatGPT to be picking up on your tone of voice. But that only is if you like how you write, because I think it's better to write strong text than the text that imitates you if you don't have a very nice, easily readable writing style, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's say you have been active on LinkedIn, you wrote some posts that you're proud of. So what you can do is you go on LinkedIn to the settings, you click privacy, and then somewhere there will be this button to download your data. So you select all of this, you request archive, and it will send you archive in two parts, where in the second part, it will also have all the posts since you ever started posting on LinkedIn just in one file. So this is great. What you can do is, well, either you upload this whole archive into a Google Doc and then you save it as a PDF and you upload it as a reference, or and this is also what I recommend, you clean it up. From there, you pick the best posts, your favorite posts that reflect your tone of voice now, because maybe you've been active on LinkedIn for 8 years. You don't want all of your archive, and also you want to be selective with what it picks up. So you turn this into a PDF and you upload it to your custom GPT in the same documents button that I showed to you before. Oh yeah, so this is the Google Doc, and then you upload it here. Now we move to ideas, and I already mentioned that I believe that ideas should be yours. And the way I work with this Copilot when it is set up is I mumble my ideas to it using a tool called Super Whisper, and I'll demo it to you in a few minutes just to show you how this LinkedIn Writer works. So yeah, I just mumble my ideas there, and then I get the post, the good, well-written post out of it. So yes, now time for a quick demo of how it works. This is my LinkedIn writer. Let's close this. And what I do is like first I spend a lot of time to set it up, but now when I have the content plan, I have the idea of the content piece that I want to write, then I turn the voice recording. Let me just quickly think, what do I want to write about? Let's say that we run a webinar. Write a short LinkedIn post with an announcement of a webinar that we have on Monday. Say that it's at 6 p.m. in the evening and it will be about AI for LinkedIn, and people are welcome to join, and we're gonna share our framework on how to use AI for LinkedIn. So I will be doing something like that. And why I'm using voice is because this way I can actually share more. So typically I would maybe spend 2 or 3 minutes just sharing my ideas. And then I click send and it searches the files from my setup. And then it writes a post, which could be longer, but I also didn't give it that much information. And it is kind of written in my tone of voice. At least I don't cringe on it. There are no long dashes. There is nothing like fluff or other ChatGPT words that I don't like. So yeah, then I would maybe work more on the post and share more ideas, or I'll just use it as it is if I'm happy with this. And typically, I think now it takes me maybe 15 minutes max if it's a longer post to write a post that I like, that is well written. Okay, let's go back. Now the workflow. So now that I have this all set up, how does my whole LinkedIn content production actually looks like? So first, and this is very important because ideas are important, I develop a habit of writing down ideas through the week. So what does that mean? Well, if we take a step back, even before I get ideas, I have this folder on Telegram dedicated to references from other people because I also get inspiration from other people on the types of content, for example, that Martina was talking about. Here you can see that I saw someone do a very nice carousel, I save it. Or here someone was doing an educational post that I really like the format of, so I save it. You can either also set up a WhatsApp chat for that or Telegram chat, or just have a folder on your phone with the screenshots of the post that you like, so that if you are ever at the point that you are out of the ideas or content format types, then you can go back to that folder. Then second thing is I capture my ideas through the week, and I recommend that you do that as well. The same moment that you get an idea, you write it down, because otherwise you'll probably forget, or you will be, as me, getting overwhelmed carrying the idea in your head the whole day, being afraid to forget it. So you can either use just simple note-taking app, or what I set up for myself is an automation on Telegram, where the same moment as I get a useful idea or a link, I send it to my Telegram, and then it automatically puts it into the correct table on Notion. So here you see I actually also have a YouTube channel, so I paste the ideas either on the YouTube table or on LinkedIn table. Now we make a content plan based on those ideas. I typically do that once a month. And it can look something like this. You have to find a format that works for you. Basically, I'm trying to do what Martina has told us, like keep a balance between different types of posts, so personal and sales, different formats, so with images, without images, and things like that. And for creating this content plan, I use references I collected from step 1 and step 2. I know that some people use ChatGPT to help them with the content plan. So this is one thing you can do if you really find it hard to plan for yourself. Just drop your ideas table from Notion to ChatGPT, tell it how you want to balance it, what's your LinkedIn strategy, and it will generate a table for you. I myself, I've been doing it for so long that I create my content plans myself at this point. But yeah, content plan helps. Now, after I have the content plan, in the moment when there is a deadline to post the content, I start writing according to my content schedule. And just like I demoed, I typically use the voice recording to dump my thoughts because this way I can get more out of myself. And there is a second tip that I'm using when I'm stuck. I ask ChatGPT to act as my interviewer and ask me questions on a certain topic that I planned in my content calendar so that it gets more information from it about what I believe in, what is my point of view. And then from this, we can write one post or maybe even multiple if the questions were really good and my answers were really extensive. Um, and now the fourth step, which I also think is very important, is to review your posts before actually posting. So don't just ask ChatGPT to generate text based on the title, especially if you didn't set it up to write in your tone of voice. Instead, it generates something and you remove anything that sounds fake deep. With my setup, I rarely get it, but I think if you are still building your context library, then it might still happen and it might use metaphors that even you don't understand and you can't place them in your head. So reread it, remove it. Remove everything that doesn't resonate with what you believe in and ask yourself, would I write this? Like, if I were to write this from scratch, would I say something like this? If not, you probably don't need that, and people on another receiving end would also see that. So this is a very important step, and then we are ready and we have a post, and hopefully it gets a lot of engagement from people and you have nice conversations around the topic of your post. So let's just summarize everything that I shared. How to use AI in your content creation and how to sound authentic. So AI works best with human in the loop. So in the beginning, ideas are yours, then you have AI that you set up, and then you review it before posting. Then get clarity on your strategy, target audience, your positioning, and your tone of voice, which I think I forgot to mention that I also have a file with different linguistic features of my tone of voice, so it can also pick that up. So yeah, spend some time on figuring that out and building context around your business, around your personal brand, which you can feed to your GPT for the AI Copilot, or maybe you can also build other AI projects reusing some of the context. For example, target audience would be helpful for other tasks as well. Then learn prompt engineering tips, which is very important, and also how to detect GPT content. So if you just Google online, you would notice a lot of tips about what gives it away that it sounds like ChatGPT. Um, or ask your friends to read your posts and tell if it sounds too GPT-like and they really don't like it. So yeah, ask someone else for an opinion and invest time to set up your AI LinkedIn Copilot once so you can use it many times. And in the moment when you need to write LinkedIn post and you are busy, you spend only 15 minutes to actually write it. You just get the ideas out and the formatting is done by LinkedIn Copilot. And the last one is to make a habit of capturing your ideas through the week. I actually think this one is also important. So yeah, remember that your input is important and you are the one generating ideas and guiding the model. So it's not just ChatGPT generated content. So what next? Well, as a homework, I suggest you can actually try to set it up. So if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you can create this project where you can start slowly building your context files. I don't think you will be able to do that in one evening because there's quite a lot of context, but maybe one day you brainstorm about your target audience, another day you try to analyze your tone of voice, things like that. And learn how to write good prompts. Keep reading articles in the internet or watching YouTube videos on how to write good prompts. Okay, and we also wanted to share with you that if you are interested to dive more into this, we actually are organizing a second cohort of our AI for LinkedIn for Busy Founders course, which starts in September. And that one will have 6 group calls with live exercises. So those things that we were talking about, we will do in class with some templates and references, so you don't have to start from scratch. And then at home, you can finish all these exercises and get feedback both from me and Martina. We also have a private community on Slack where you share exercises with each other and you can learn from other people. And we have a lot of templates. We have a collection of prompts. We have 8 custom GPTs that I personally use that we also give access to you, and we share the prompts so you can make it your own. Yeah. And it's not just lectures. Like I said, we have live exercises, we have homeworks. So I actually think it's very fun. And in the end, you will have your AI Copilot and you will have all of those documents like your tone of voice description. You will have both an understanding of how LinkedIn strategy works, but also the document with your LinkedIn strategy. You'll understand different methods for target audience analysis, but also you'll have it documented. So I hope this gives you a bit of a sense of how that works. And the program is 6 weeks. We have one call a week, and then we have homeworks, and we have different weeks for different topics. So the first one, we will just uh, trying to get clear on your LinkedIn goal. The second week will be just about your positioning and defining your ideal customer profile and target audience. During the third week, we'll learn about the content plan, so what is important, how to write it. And then fourth, we'll do authentic content. So we'll learn to set this up all together. And the week 5 will be about what Martina was talking about, the warm outreach and commenting. And to be honest, before I met Martina, I didn't know even about all those things. And this was a very big revelation. I think I can't even tell which one of them is my favorite. Maybe the warm outreach, because I always was scared of this cold outreach. But then she said, oh, you can just say to people who comment on your post, and are your ICP, hey, what interested you? And I was like, that's not that scary. I can do that. So yeah,
Yay.
that's it. And yeah, we have actually an amazing feedback from students from the first course, and people told us that they got AI skills that they can learn, can use not just for LinkedIn, but for other areas of their life. So if that sounds interesting, then we have 3 tracks that you can choose from. And we also have 100 euros off for 24 hours for people who joined the webinar. So Martina will share the link in the chat, and you can also scan the QR code to read more about this, if this sounds interesting. And yeah, with this, I want to wrap it up. And thank you everyone for joining. And if you have any questions, then feel free to connect with me and Martina on LinkedIn, and we'll be happy to stay in touch. Bye.